When I make pulled pork barbecue sandwiches, we really love to have those on homemade buns. So today I'm going to show you how I like to make them. Hi, thanks for joining me today on Susan's Cozy Kitchen. First thing, I'm going to put a cup and a half or so of flour in the bowl of my stand mixer. So I'm going to make a little hole on either side. Now, on one side, I'm going to add a teaspoon and a half of salt. Just going to pour that into the smaller of the two holes. On the other side, I have 2 tablespoons of sugar and a tablespoon of yeast, and I'm going to pour that on this side in the hole. Now I'm just going to sort of mix the salt in to the flour on that side, and then on the other side I'm going to use a spatula and mix the yeast and sugar mixture in. And then I'm going to put this down, lock it, and turn it on to mix everything together. The reason you don't pour your yeast and sugar and salt all in there together at the same time and mix them all together is because the salt will kill the yeast. In this measuring cup, I have a half cup of water, a cup of milk, and a 1/4 cup of butter. I'm just going to pop this in the microwave, melt the butter, and then I'll add that into here. And the temperature of your liquid is important when you mix it in with your yeast, because if it's too cool, it's not going to activate it. If it's too warm, it's going to kill the yeast. So you want it to be in that sweet spot, which is somewhere around between 100 to 110 degrees. You really don't want it any cooler than 100. You don't want it any hotter than 110-ish. So I always try to hit somewhere around the 105 mark with my liquid. And I even use my instant read thermometer to double check the heat on liquids before I add them to the yeast. Okay, and the butter is melted. It's the right temperature. So let's go ahead and pour this in, and I'm going to put my guard on. Got this on low, and I'm just going to pour this in. And there's flour just sort of bunching up around the side, so I'm going to stop it, push the flour down in there, and let this mix together again. Once that flour is mixed in, I'll start adding a half cup at a time until I get a soft dough that's pulling away from the sides. Okay, that's all stirred together, so here's the first half cup. There's all the flour in. I'm just going to stop it. Scrape the edges and the bottom. Okay, dough's the way we want it now. I'm going to turn it up to about 4, and I'm going to let it knead for 5 minutes. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. Let's turn this off. Perfect. Just going to let this sit and rest for about 10 minutes. Going to cover it with a clean towel and let this rest. Okay, it has rested for 10 minutes, so let's move on to the next thing. I'm just going to pull this out and put it on a piece of wax paper. I'm just going to try to separate this into about 8 to 12 pieces. So I'm just going to cut it right down the middle. Let's see. think I'll try to separate this into about 5 pieces. So there's one. And I'm just going to shape this so that I have a smooth top to it, because the top is what you see. And I'm just going to smush it a little bit and put it down on there. So put that there and just continue on. And these are not going to be uniform in size. I kind of like that because sometimes you might want a larger sandwich. So this gives you the chance to choose what size bun you want to make the size sandwich you want. So I'm just putting these on here and then pushing them down slightly so that they spread a bit. I don't want these to be like dinner rolls that are, you know, kind of the same size and then really high. I want them to be flatter, more like a hamburger roll. Here we go. I'm just going to keep shaping these, and I'll be back with you in a bit once I have them all made. Okay, I have all 11 of my hamburger buns here. I've got one that looks a little bit more like a sub roll, but that's all right. Now I'm going to put them in here to rise for 30 to 35 minutes. I just want them to get a little bigger, a little puffier, and ready to cook. So in they go. I'm going to set it for proof, 100 degrees, and I've got 30 minutes on here, so let's get that started. Okay, these have been rising for about 30-35 minutes now. And wow, look at that. Those are huge. So now I'm going to turn on my air fryer to bake. I'm going to set it at 375, 8 minutes. Turn that on and let it preheat. Okay, it's ready to put them in now. Slide those in, 375 for 8 minutes. Okay, time's up. Let's pull these out. Oh, look at that. Don't those look scrumptious? Now, they are a little crustier than a bun that you get from the store. All right, so I melted about a tablespoon of butter. Just going to brush that over the top of these. And on the ones around the outside, I'm also getting that just kind of outer side. Okay, so now we have butter buns. Okay, I'm going to pull the parchment paper off of the pizza pan. Just need to let these cook for a little bit, and then I will break them apart, cut one open, and make my sandwich. I think I'm going to use this one. Just using a serrated knife and cutting it half in two. The taste is incredible. All right, so let's give this a taste test. That's really huge, so I'm gonna smash it down. And oh my goodness, this bun is amazing. It's soft, it's light, it's yeasty, it's buttery, and it is absolutely the perfect complement to my barbecue sandwich. Thank you for joining me today on Susan's Cozy Kitchen. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. While you're there, please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will find out immediately. Thank you. God bless.